Hello friends, today I have 3 Easter/spring DIYs, super quick, easy. Does this look quick and easy? It's my favorite and I'm going to show you how to make it. Let's get started. Okay, our first DIY is a little bit of a thrift flip. So this was a piece of decor that came from, I'm not sure where, maybe a thrift store, maybe someone gave it to me that they didn't want anymore. So I'm just going to take off the little hanger because we're going to do something different with that. I'm going to use this scrap paper that I absolutely love that I get at Hobby Lobby, and I'm just going to make sure that I'm lining this up evenly, and I'm going to just trace it on the back of this scrapbook paper, and then I'm going to cut it out. Now the little cross with the faith on it I got at Hobby Lobby in a pack with multiple of those pieces in there. So now I'm going to take some of this sandpaper that goes to my orbital sander and just wrap it around the sanding block because this is what I have and we're just going to use what we have today. Now I'm going to take the weathered wood by DIY and just paint the edges of this because we're going to cover the front so you're not going to see it, but I do want the edges to match. And this was kind of almost black, dark brown, almost black, and so I wanted it to match. Now I'm going to take Mod Podge. I'm going to put a nice even coat all over the front of this piece, and then I'm going to set it aside and let it dry completely. And while that's drying, we're going to work on our little cross. And I'm going to use that weathered wood again, and we're just going to paint the cross part. Now I'm also going to take a wet wipe and just wipe off some of that paint so that it looks more like a stain. And I really like the way that this looks. You can do this with all kinds of paint, and I really like the way that it looks. So I did the top and the sides of that cross. Now I'm going to take Old 57 by DIY. It's a beautiful color, and I'm going to paint the word faith. And then just the tops, I'm being very careful. You can see I'm resting my pinky there so that I don't slip and get this paint on the cross. And then I'm just going to paint all over it. And then I'm going to take some faded burlap on a little old stencil brush that's all chippy and just give it a little bit of dry brush on this so it looks a little bit more weathered. You know I love my dry brushing. Then I'm going to take a little and I'm going to just swipe it over the word faith too, just to get it on the edges so it looks, you know, a little bit outlined. It almost makes it look a little bit outlined. So this is the look that I like. You can do it as little or as much as you like. Make it yours. This is just for inspiration. Now I'm lining this up to make sure that my lines are not going to be crooked and that I'm going to get it covered all over the entire piece. Then I'm going to take that piece of parchment paper and I'm going to lay it down. I'm going to use my little mini iron. You can use a household iron as long as you don't have steam, and just press that down, reactivate that Mod Podge, and it gives you a really nice smooth surface. Now I don't feel the need to seal that with Mod Podge. It will create bubbles and wrinkles, and I don't like that. That's why I use the iron-on method. Now I'm taking a very cheap emery board from Dollar Tree that works great for sandpaper. I would never use that on my nails, but I'm going to take some clear wax and some dark wax by DIY, mix it together so that it weakens down the dark a little bit, and this wonderful makeup brush that I get on Amazon, and they come in a pack. They're in my description box in the Amazon storefront, and I'm going to go across the top of it and around the edges. Now I'm scooping out a little bit of clear, and I'm going to use just clear, and I'm going to clear coat this little cross and the faith. Now later I come back and do a little something extra because you know I'm a little extra. Now I'm going to tell you that in Romans it talks about the measure of faith that God gives to everyone, and it just depends on where we put our faith. We can put our faith in Christ, we can put our faith in the things of this world, we can put our faith in people, but when we put our faith in Christ, that's the important place to put our faith. Put our faith in Jesus Christ. So just throwing that in for free. Now I'm going to take this little tiny scrap of that crocheted ribbon that I love that I get at Dollar Tree. I haven't been able to see it at my Dollar Tree in a long time, so you better bet your bottom dollar that I'm going to save every tiny little scrap I can, because look, all I needed was a tiny little scrap. I'm going to tie a little piece of twine right in the middle, and I just like the way that looks. I'm going to cover up that little hole, camouflage that little hole with a cute little makeshift bow. Then this is that wired burlap that comes from Dollar Tree, and we're just going to make a little hanger with it. I'm going to use my staple gun to staple it down. You could use a boatload of hot glue if you wanted to, but this staple gun is going to help make it really secure. Then we're just going to glue that little cross on there, and this is finished. Did I tell you that I put some of that dark wax across that as well? Okay, this little project was so fun, and it turns out so cute. This was a little flower bed stake, flower pot stake. I'm going to put it in my flower pot because it's really one of those little miniature ones. And I'm just going to take the little flag off. I'm going to lay it aside. I'm going to use it later. And I'm just going to take all the tags and all the strings off. And now I got these in a multi-pack at Hobby Lobby when they were on sale, of course. And I'm going to glue them together with some Titebond Quick and Thick. And this stuff dries super fast. It says quick because it is quick. I'm going to put it on there. I'm going to use this little spatula, and I'm going to spread it around. And then I'm going to take some little clips that I get at Dollar Tree, and I'm going to clip it together. And then I did take a paintbrush and go in there and wipe away all that excess glue that squeezed out in those. You can kind of see it a little bit there, that squeezed out in between all those little decorative cutouts. I just went ahead and took that paintbrush and wiped it all out, and it worked great. Now I'm going to take Kissing Booth by DIY. This is a really bright pink. It's dark pink, but it's beautiful, and I painted that little wooden heart. Now I'm taking Antique Wax by Waverly. This is a wax, like a glaze, and I'm using this sponge brush that I cut the tip off of because I wanted it to be flat, and I've used this numerous times, and I'm just pouncing on some of that antique wax. And I believe I did take a paper towel and kind of wipe a little bit of it back, just a tiny bit. And then I'm just going to put a little bit around that heart that we painted with Kissing Booth. We're going to clear wax this heart because you need to seal your DIY paints because they are clay-based paints and they will reactivate with water. So now I'm going to just get in all those little openings with the antique wax, and I did just a really light coat of it on the back side, which you're not even going to see the back side, so it didn't even matter. Now I'm going to use this little flag as my template, and I'm going to lay it on none other than some canvas drop cloth. If you've watched my channel for very long, you know that I absolutely love this stuff, use it on lots of projects. Now I thought I could cut it just by hand, but no, I did need to tape it down to keep it still. So I did that, and I cut it, and then I'm going to measure the top because I want to be able to create that little loop like was already on it to hang it on our little stand, whatever you call that little thing. Stake. It's a stake. Yeah, not a steak you eat, but you know, a stake that you put in the ground, or your flower pot in this case. So we're going to take that off, and we're not going to use that. We're going to use this pretty little canvas drop cloth. So I'm going to just put a little bead of hot glue on there and fold it over and make a little pocket to put our little rod through so we can hang it. And then I'm making sure that this fits, and then I decide I need some more of that little crocheted lace ribbon, and I'm going to just put a little bead of hot glue across there and put that down. Of course, I'm not wearing the finger protector, but I just use it to dab with sometimes. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm just going to put that hot glue down and just glue that lace down there. It works great. And then on top of that, I'm just going to put a little piece of thin twine, jute twine. Then I'm going to put a little small jute twine bow that I made off camera right in the middle. And I already glued that heart on top of the cross off camera. And then we're just going to glue the cross onto the canvas, drop cloth onto our little flag, and then we're going to put it on the stake. And it turns out so adorable, and I just put it in one of my pots. Okay, our last DIY is a home decor makeover. This was a cross that I'd had in my home decor for a while, and I just decided to make it over. So I'm taking some, this is a Rust-Oleum chalk paint in linen white, and I just give it a good coat, the front and the sides, and I did not do the back because it was natural wood, and I just left it the natural wood color. And then I had this little plaque. I got these off Shein, and it was an 12-pack I got for less than $8. It was a really good buy. They're not all warped and thin like some that I've gotten before. I did the sides and the front and gave it one good coat with Aged Gray by Rust-Oleum. Then I have this by Bells and Whistles lace transfer. I've had this in my stash for quite some time. I got it on clearance at a little boutique here in my area. And then I'm going to it's just like any transfer. I do not like it as well as I do the IOD transfers. It does not work as well to me, but it turns out beautiful. So I just lay it down, and then I'm going to use my X-Acto knife to cut off the excess, because those little pieces will absolutely come in handy on another project. You know, some little smaller projects with some scrap wood in the future. So be looking out for that. That last DIY I did, that CADDY, I'm going to link that that video in the description box below in case you all didn't see me make that. I kind of didn't have time to say that before the video ended. Okay, so we're just going to do this just like every other rub-on transfer. Just rub it and lift and rub and lift and rub and lift. And I'm not going to bore you with all the time it took me to do that. It really didn't take a lot of time, but I usually just take my time and rub and lift it, and then you want to use your paper, the transfer paper that it comes off of, to burnish it down and get rid of any little stickies that are on the edges, and it just helps it kind of meld with the surface and make it look like, you know, it's supposed to be on there. And then for the bottom part, I just took another piece of it. This came in 3 or 4 pieces, and I just matched it up, and I did the same process, and it came out beautiful. This is such a beautiful piece. And then I'm going to go back to that little plaque, and I cut out, "He is risen." Oh, he is risen indeed. He is not in the grave. No other gods can say that they are still alive, that they were risen from the dead. So I'm going to just put the transfer tape on and burnish it, and put it on my little plaque and burnish it. And then we're going to attach that to the cross. And I think this turns out so cute. This is my favorite DIY of the day. So you'll have to let me know which of these 3 is your favorite. And yeah, I'm going to take a little clear wax by DIY and put it on here. I get all my DIY products from Sammy at unicorndustdesigns.com. You can go over there. She sells IOD products, DIY products, salt wash, and she has a lot of thrifted items that she has made over, or just thrifted items that she has found that are amazing. I'm going to take a little bit of white wax too and just give it a little bit of highlights. And then I'm going to take some white grosgrain ribbon that came on, I don't know, some pajamas or some washcloths or something, and I never throw those ribbons away. And they come in very handy for projects just like this. So I'm going to do a little knot in the front, and then I'm going to hang this, put another knot on the other side, and this project will be complete. And I think it's just absolutely gorgeous. I want to thank you all for watching my channel, and be sure that you like this video and do all the wonderful things that help my channel grow, like comment. hope you enjoyed this video. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Kendra. You watched Late Night Creations. I'm so glad you're here. Go ahead and subscribe. Everybody, be sure that you've given this video a thumbs up and drop a comment below, even if it's just an emoji. I love the emojis too. I try to respond to everybody's comments because I love connecting with you guys in the comments below. But most of all, I want you to remember to be still and know that He is God.